In Universe 6, a baby Saiyan named Kakarot is born not to conquer, but to protect. Raised on planet Sadala, the boy quickly displays unmatched potential and a kind heart, a rarity among warriors. Instead of Grandpa Gohan, young Kakarot is mentored by Kaba and trained in Saiyan martial arts. His power surges, but so does his desire to understand the universe and his place in it. Meeting Caulifla and Kale, Goku finds both rivalry and inspiration. Their fierce spirits ignite a fire in him, one that pushes him toward the legendary Super Saiyan transformation far earlier. His power draws the attention of Kampa and Vados. The god of destruction sees a potential champion for Universe 6, while Vados offers to train him in divine techniques, should he prove worthy. To earn the right to train with Vados, Goku must face Universe 6's strongest assassin, Hit. The battle is swift, brutal, and brilliant. And for the first time, Hit sees someone who can adapt to time skip mid-fight. Born with uncontrollable power and a heart full of pain, Broly's fate was forged in rage and exile. But what if someone had intervened, someone divine? What if Broly had been raised by Whis? After sensing a monstrous power on a distant world, Whis visits planet Vampa and discovers an infant Saiyan surrounded by chaos, Broly. Rather than leave him to his fate, Whis takes him to the angel realm. Under Whis's guidance, Broly learns to channel his rage into balance, his power into harmony. The divine training stabilizes his berserk nature, turning him into a graceful yet deadly warrior. Years later, Broly travels with Whis to Earth, where he meets Goku and Vegeta, not as an enemy, but as a student of peace. Goku is stunned by Broly's serene energy despite his immense strength. To test Broly's limits, Whis arranges a sparring match with Beerus. The clash of raw power and divine destruction shakes dimensions. Broly, now focused and centered, matches the god of destruction blow for blow. Frieza, ruthless emperor of the universe, born with incredible power, yet never trained a day in his life. But what if that changed? What if the angel Whis took Frieza under his wing? After Frieza's revival, Whis approaches him, not with judgment, but with curiosity. Impressed by Frieza's growth in such a short time, Whis offers to train him to control and master his power like a true god. The training is brutal. Whis pushes Frieza to his limits, forcing him to abandon his pride and face his inner demons. Meditation, reflex mastery, and key flow techniques become daily routines. Frieza evolves beyond golden form. With Whis's teachings, he achieves a new transformation, Divine Frieza. Radiating calm yet terrifying power, he becomes a godlike figure feared even by Beerus. Frieza returns to Universe 7 not as a conqueror, but as a god of balance. Goku and Vegeta challenge him, but they're overwhelmed by his newfound control and divine strength. In the dark future of Dragon Ball, Gohan made the ultimate sacrifice to protect Earth from the androids and the terrifying threat of the future. But what if Gohan had survived? What if, instead of falling in battle, he had taken Goten under his wing to train him, preparing him for the challenges ahead? In this altered timeline, Gohan survives the final battle against the androids. Instead of falling in battle, he manages to defeat them, but not without consequence. The fight has left Earth scarred, and the danger of more powerful foes looms in the distance. Realizing that the future is uncertain and that new threats are inevitable, Gohan takes it upon himself to train Goten. His younger brother's potential is enormous, and Gohan sees it as his duty to prepare Goten for the battles yet to come. Goten begins his training under the guidance of the warrior who once saved Earth, his older brother, Gohan. Under Gohan's tutelage, Goten pushes past his previous limitations. His Saiyan potential awakens fully as he taps into his true power. In time, Goten achieves a new level of Super Saiyan, one that blends strength, speed, and precision, no longer the playful child, but a warrior in his own right. Now, with both brothers stronger than ever, a new enemy emerges from the shadows, more dangerous than the androids and more cunning. The Z fighters are called upon to defend Earth once again, and Goten stands by Gohan, ready to face the coming storm. The final battle begins as Goten and Gohan face their most dangerous adversary yet. Their bond as brothers is their strength, but it will be tested in the most intense battle they've ever fought. With the fate of Earth on the line, the two warriors unleash everything they have, an unstoppable force forged from the legacy of Goku and the teachings of Gohan. In a world where Majin Buu was never released from his prison, the events of Dragon Ball Z unfold very differently. Without the chaos and destruction brought by Buu, Earth enjoys a period of peace, but how long can that last? What new threats will arise to challenge the Z fighters? And how will the absence of Buu change the course of history? Without the threat of Majin Buu's release, Earth remains safe for a time. The Z fighters, now accustomed to living without constant battles, focus on rebuilding and training. Goku and Vegeta continue their rivalry, but there's no urgent need for them to push their limits. Life seems peaceful, but the Z fighters know better than to become complacent. However, peace does not last forever. A new threat emerges from the shadows, something more dangerous than anything the Z fighters have faced. A new villain rises, using a powerful dark energy that threatens not only Earth, but the very fabric of the universe itself. The Z fighters must come together once more to defend their world, but this time, they may be facing something they cannot defeat alone. Recognizing the danger, Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and the others prepare to face this new enemy. They must combine their strengths and work together in ways they've never done before. With Majin Buu's absence, they realize that their usual methods of combat may not be enough. They must evolve their strategies and push their limits further than ever before. The new villain, a being of pure dark energy, is revealed to be a powerful entity from another dimension. His goal is to absorb the energy of entire planets, increasing his strength exponentially. With the power of his dark magic and an army of loyal followers, he becomes a terrifying threat to the Z fighters. This is not a foe they can defeat with brute force alone. To face this new adversary, the Z fighters must adapt. Goku and Vegeta train harder than ever, pushing their Super Saiyan powers to the next level. Gohan, too, taps into new potential, seeking the answers within himself. With the power of teamwork, they launch a full assault on the villain, determined to protect their world at all costs. Imagine a timeline where Vegeta never changed. What if the Saiyan Prince stayed true to his ruthless and prideful nature, never being influenced by Goku's kindness or the bond he formed with Earth's people? How would this affect the Z fighters and the fate of the universe? In this What If, we explore a reality where Vegeta remains the villain he once was. Vegeta's pride has always been his defining characteristic, and in this timeline, it grows even stronger. After the defeat of the Saiyan invasion, he never softens. Rather than learning the value of compassion from Goku, Vegeta turns his anger and pride into an unyielding desire for domination. He declares himself the ultimate ruler of the universe, and no one, not even Frieza, will stop him. Vegeta's refusal to change affects his relationship with the Z fighters. Goku and the others try to reason with him, but he remains adamant, believing that Earth and its people are beneath him. His rivalry with Goku intensifies, turning from friendly competition to deadly conflict. Instead of fighting alongside the Z fighters, Vegeta now seeks to destroy them, each battle becoming a battle for dominance. Vegeta's lust for power leads him to make dangerous alliances. He seeks out Frieza once again, offering to join forces in exchange for a share of the universe's domination. Together, they form an alliance more powerful than ever before, and with Vegeta's pure hatred for Goku and the Earth, they set their sights on complete annihilation. The Z fighters, no longer able to rely on Vegeta as an ally, must prepare for the greatest battle of their lives. The Z fighters launch a desperate counterattack, knowing that they have no choice but to fight against Vegeta and Frieza. Goku and Vegeta's rivalry reaches a boiling point, and the two engage in an epic battle. With Goku's heart still holding on to hope, and Vegeta's pride and hatred fueling him, the fight becomes more than just a battle for the fate of Earth. It becomes a battle for the soul of the Saiyan race. In the end, it's not just power that will decide the outcome of this war, it's the heart. Goku, never giving up on his rival, uses his greatest technique to try and reach Vegeta's heart one last time. Will the Saiyan Prince succumb to his pride and ambition, or will he find redemption? The battle is fierce, and the universe hangs in the balance. What if Goku had never hit his head as a child? Would he still become the heroic fighter we know today? Without the injury that erased his memory of being a Saiyan, Goku might have followed a very different path, one where he retained his true nature as a ruthless warrior. Let's dive into a timeline where Goku's innocence was never lost. From the moment he was born, Goku knew he was a Saiyan, and his natural strength and combat prowess were evident from a young age. Instead of being raised in isolation by Grandpa Gohan, he was trained to be a warrior from birth, under the guidance of the harsh and demanding Saiyan lifestyle. Without the head injury that caused his memory loss, Goku never forgets his true nature as a powerful fighter. Instead of being humble and carefree, Goku grows up with the pride and ruthlessness of the Saiyan race. He becomes more like Vegeta, relentless in his pursuit of strength and power. The Z fighters, who would have been his allies, are now his rivals, as Goku pushes everyone around him to become stronger and more ruthless in battle. His bond with Earth's people is absent, as he sees them only as tools for his own ambition. As Goku grows more powerful, he becomes increasingly detached from his friends. His rivalry with Vegeta reaches new heights, and soon, it becomes clear that the two Saiyans are on a path of destruction. Goku sees no reason to hold back, even when fighting his own allies. He pushes them to their limits, expecting nothing less than perfection in battle, with no regard for their well-being. The Z fighters begin to question whether Goku is truly the hero they once knew. With his unyielding thirst for power, Goku eventually encounters Frieza once again. In this timeline, Goku doesn't hesitate to join forces with Frieza, recognizing that together, they could rule the universe. The two Saiyans form a brutal alliance, and together, they set out to destroy anyone who stands in their way. With Goku's pride now fully intact, he is no longer the naive boy from Earth. He is a true force of destruction. The Z fighters must now face not only Frieza's army, but also the overwhelming might of Goku himself. Goku's betrayal cuts deep, and the Z fighters must fight against the very person they once called a friend. As Goku faces off against his old allies, he shows no mercy, driven by his desire for ultimate control. The fate of Earth and the universe itself hangs in the balance, as Goku becomes the greatest threat they've ever faced. What if Trunks never traveled back in time to warn the Z fighters about the androids? Without his intervention, how would the events of the future unfold, and would Earth ever survive the terror of the androids and Cell? Let's explore a world where Trunks' journey never happened and the Z fighters face a darker future. In this timeline, the future that Trunks knows is one of chaos and destruction. With the androids running rampant, no one is left to fight them except a handful of surviving Z fighters. Trunks is left with the overwhelming task of protecting the remnants of Earth's population, but the androids continue to terrorize the planet with no real opposition. The androids, now in full control of the Earth, continue their reign of terror, with no one to challenge their power. Their relentless attacks leave the remaining survivors in a state of constant fear. Meanwhile, without Trunks' warning, the Z fighters in the past are ill-prepared for the coming threat. The Earth continues to decay as the androids become more and more destructive, unchecked, and unstoppable. With the androids in control, the timeline shifts dramatically. Cell, having been created by Dr. Gero, becomes the ultimate weapon of destruction. Without the Z fighters ever intervening, Cell's power continues to grow unchecked. His evolution goes unchallenged as he absorbs the androids, becoming stronger with every passing day. The future now seems hopeless, with no one able to stop his destructive rampage. Trunks, devastated by the loss of his friends and the unstoppable rise of the androids in Cell, gathers what few fighters remain. He begins a final stand, hoping to somehow take down the androids before Cell becomes too powerful. However, without the intervention of the Z fighters from the past, his efforts are in vain. The future grows darker with each passing moment, and Trunks is left with little hope. Cell's power has reached its peak, and there is no one left who can stop him. Trunks' final battle ends in tragedy as he faces off against the fully evolved Cell. With the fate of the future sealed, Trunks realizes the magnitude of his failure. Earth is doomed, and no amount of fighting can change the outcome. The androids and Cell reign supreme, and the world is left in ruins.